Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Sunday morning. Well, 4 days to the new year. I can't believe it. 2025 is gone. With us today is Dr. Mehmet Oz, and one good friend, one smart guy, and he knows what the heck is going on. And Dr. Oz, tell me, what bothered you the most over the last few months of things that are going on in our country?
Well, my New Year's resolution is to crush fraud, waste, and abuse. And folks have been following it from afar, but you all need to just stop what you're doing for a second and understand how critical this is. The fraud around our social safety net is destroying the programs for our most vulnerable. So if you care about those at the dawn of life, our children, if you care about those at the twilight of life, our older folks who might be in need, if you care about folks who are just living in the shadows, people struggling, need a hand up, they can't get it because there's so much money being stolen out of the system that it's impacting on our nation's safety net. So I run Medicaid and Medicare for the president, and I deal with these issues firsthand. And when people work out scams like they did in Minnesota, where you have political patronage, which means politicians, elected officials, not wanting to enforce the law because they think they can get something out of it, that's a problem. So what happened in Minnesota, just to get everyone on the same page, is they were going above and beyond in order to provide really good social services to whoever happened to wander by, including, by the way, immigrants coming from Somalia. And these folks began to realize that we are suckers, that the people in Minnesota who are supposed to be watching the hen house weren't doing that at all. And if they wanted to get a little extra something from these social safety nets, they could easily take advantage of them. And I'll give you an example. The Minnesotans would say, you know what, and we do this in New York, by the way, too. If you need transportation to the hospital and you don't have family to take you, we'll pay for it. If you need a place to stay when you get out of the hospital because you don't have a good place to stay and it's easier to get you to one of our hotel rooms, we'll do that too. If you want extra help for autism, we'll hire babysitters and others to take care of those. All that sounds great, right? However, those are also soft programs. So the folks, for example, Somalians, and 90% of the indicted people are Somalians, but they're literally people from other states. People from Philadelphia realized what a con artist opportunity there was in Minnesota because no one was watching. And so they began to participate as well. They would sign up online to provide services that they never actually delivered. So they took some of these programs, like the one I mentioned for transportation or housing was, these things are supposed to be $2 million programs. They were, $100 million programs. The autism program I mentioned, supposed to be $3 million, is $400 million. How did that happen? Because they started paying parents to lie that their kids were autistic. Then they began to lie about providing non-existing services to non-existing autistic kids. And who suffers? The parents with real autistic kids, because these programs are now in dire distress. So we have reached out. I have reached out to the governor with a letter. And now I think that what happened there is reprehensible because I think Governor Walz was running for vice president, not running the state. And they were nervous about offending. This is, by the way, according to people in the state. They were nervous about offending the Somalian population, which votes overwhelmingly for the Democrats. They were offended about being called racist because they're taking tough action. The racism is not taking action because you're worried about someone's skin color. Do what's right for the country. And so we've demanded that they give us weekly updates of what they're going to do to track these bad actors down. They have to provide us a game plan by New Year's. And we're going to freeze enrollment for all the high-risk providers, all the doctors and people providing services, many of whom are not doctors, people pretending to provide autism services, no mas. We're not going to allow that anymore. And that's just in Minnesota. Imagine what's happening in New York, when we know we have got home health care scams. We've got all kinds of people taking advantage of these softer systems. I mean, John, you're not paying for open heart surgery, which is what I did at Columbia for many years. If I do an operation, I'm a doctor, I'm licensed, I'm charging for heart surgery, nurses witness it, hospital charges for it, the patient's got a scar, everyone knows it happened. These are make-believe services that we provide that are softer, like transportation and housing, that we're not equipped. So when you ask Health and Human Services to also be HUD, Housing Urban Development, when you're asking us to be the Department of Transportation, when you're asking us to be the Department of Education, money gets stolen.
Dr. Oz, I heard numbers. We started a few weeks ago, a month ago, and the problem was $1 billion. And I heard rumors the last few days that the problem could be as much as $9 billion. And then one more question I'd like to answer. Has this problem been spread to other Democratic states?
Yeah, it's spreading throughout the country. And these are massive amounts of fraud that are happening because it's politically expedient to happen. You sign people up on these programs, they become your allies, they become your voters. So why would you want to cut down? It's the same argument for the problem we had at the border for immigration. Why would the Biden administration allow that to happen? What American government would allow the invasion from a foreign country with no attention to the border? There's a reason for it. There's an argued reason anyway. And we think the same thing is happening with social services. You create these very luxurious benefits. You don't have strong rules. People take advantage of them. Like in Minnesota, it was a feeding frenzy. All of a sudden, everybody in the Somalian community knew this was a scam. Listen, they came from a country where it was normal to scam the system. So they weren't used to, general Minnesotan, Scandinavian, hard-nosed, do the right thing people. They're just culturally different. So it was just an opportunity for them to make money. There wasn't probably an offensive issue where they came from, but it is an offensive issue is here. But you can't assume that in this country. You have to actually, at this point, just man the store, clean up the mess, and that's why we've been tough on Minnesota. We're going to be tough on other communities as well. This is not just about Somalians. This is about wherever you are in this country. We have a massive fraud of home health care in New York. We have a massive fraud in Los Angeles in hospice. We have more durable medical equipment suppliers. These are guys that sell wheelchairs and knee braces. We have more of them selling that junk in South Florida than there are McDonald's. In fact, we've got 5 times more than we have McDonald's. And, John, these are foreign governments getting involved in this. The money that the Somalians took got shipped back to Somalia and other parts of Africa. We know that. The money in South Florida goes back to Cuba. The money in L.A. is run by gangsters. We shut down a $15 billion multinational crime ring that was primarily based in Russia. How do I know that? Because when the Department of Justice goes after these guys, they flee back to Russia. If they're going back to Russia, or the Cubans are running back to Cuba, then you have to at least suspect the governments are involved.
And they're probably protected by the Russian government or the Cuban government.
Oh, we know that we can't extradite them. We know that. This is again. It's easier to open a durable medical equipment supplying company than a bank account, which is why we're working with Scott Bessent and Treasury, because I'm better off shutting it down in the banking system than actually going after the perpetrators. That's the other thing. As much as we want to put the bad guys in jail, my main goal is to not let the money leave the business. Don't let the money leave the building. American taxpayer money trusted to Medicaid and Medicare should not be stolen by other countries and their criminal organizations. And the weaponization of these crimes is not small-time players. You don't steal billions of dollars as a mom-and-pop shop. These are weaponized multinational criminal syndicates who know how to game the system. That's why when you have weaklings, as existed with Waltz in Minnesota, they get slapped around, and the system gets abused, and no one's there to actually protect the problem.
Wow. Well, Dr. Mehmet Oz, you're doing a phenomenal job for the American people, and thank you, and have a Merry Christmas for you and your family, and a Happy New Year now. It'll be, it's 4 days to New Year's. And I hope in the new year our economy is going to do great, and it's going to be the best new year, the best 2026 our country's ever had.
Well, as the president often says, you don't get tired of winning because there's more of it coming. We're going to fix the problems.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.